Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahawashi, Bahasham, Barakah Kodash, Barakatum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahawashi. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well, and peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the brother Ra'aya with another video, and I'm going to start it off in 2nd Esdras chapter 9 verse 1. He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, which is what the men of the Lord, the true prophets of the Most High, chiefly through GMS or Great Millstone are doing, by watching the news and reading the scriptures and filtering the news through the scriptures to not only let the elect know, but 2/3 of the nation of Israel and you heathen nations know what times you're living in. The last seconds of the last days, before the second coming of Yahawashi Hamashiach, whom the world ignorantly refers to as so-called Jesus Christ, the ending of the rulership of the heathen nations, chiefly of that of the Edomites or the so-called white people, and the ushering in of the kingdom of heaven, where the nation of Israel, who are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, are going to be ruling for eternity. And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made, visit and judge you people on this world for all the wickedness you've been committing. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. And if you have that spiritual eye salve, you can clearly see that the end is manifesting right before us. And some of the signs to let us know that the end was manifesting before us is as it says back in verse 3, Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. And in this video, I've got a few articles and videos to show that there are indeed earthquakes and uproars of the people happening as we speak. The first video I'm going to go to is on Rupley's YouTube channel titled Greece, Magnitude 6.3 Earthquake Wreaks Havoc in Thessaly. So with this video, now I'm going to go to an article on RT.com titled New Zealand Hit by a 7.3 magnitude earthquake, tsunami warning issued. And what did Yahawashi tell his disciples in Matthew chapter 24 of the end time signs to look for to know that the end was upon them? Matthew 24 verse 3, And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? Jump down to verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places, in Greece and in New Zealand. And besides these two places, you've got earthquakes happening all across the planet damn near daily. These were just the two biggest ones that happened this week. at least as far as I know. A severe 7.3 magnitude earthquake struck 85 kilometers or 53 miles east of New Zealand's North Island at about 2:27 a.m. local time, according to the country's seismological agency. A tsunami warning has been issued. New Zealand's National Emergency Management Agency has ordered people near the coast to move to higher ground if they feel a long or strong earthquake, adding that the emergency advice supersedes any C-19 orders. From a National Emergency Management Agency's Twitter page, tsunami warning: the first waves may have reached New Zealand in the areas around East Cape approximately at 3:34 a.m. Tsunami activity will continue for several hours, and the threat must be regarded as real until this warning is canceled. Evacuation advice overrides the current C-19 alert level requirements. Listen to local civil defense authorities and follow any instructions. If you are told to evacuate, do not stay at home. The Pacific Tsunami Warning Center also urged caution, declaring in a statement that hazardous tsunami waves from this earthquake are possible within 300 kilometers of the epicenter along the coast of New Zealand. Information about casualties and other damages has not yet been made public, though reports from New Zealanders on social media were dire, with one user calling it the largest earthquake I've felt in Auckland in 22 years I've lived here. And hey, a 7.3 sounds pretty big. But hey, later on, a second massive earthquake hit New Zealand as well. And this one was 7.4. Here's a clip from Dabu77's YouTube channel titled, "A Second Massive Earthquake of M7.4 Strikes Off Coast of New Zealand. Tsunami Alert Issued for Region."
This is Dabu7. A heads up here for yet another powerful earthquake. We have a 7.4 registered over here on USGS that is hit north of the North Island in New Zealand. This is following a 7.3 that struck earlier. You can see listed right here. This earthquake has had a swarm since. There was a tsunami warning issued from this, and you can see a lot of this is generated around this fault line. That fault line cuts right across through New Zealand. The tsunami alert that was issued earlier did not see any damage done on the coastline. This newest one sends a brand new alert into motion. This will be for the North Island, and it will also be for the areas around Fiji. So once again, this is a different earthquake. This is another massive earthquake that has struck. This all comes on the heels of us just discussing that there was an uptick in earthquake activity and that we could see more, and we are seeing just that. Now, do keep in mind that the Solomon Islands, Tonga, Fiji, this is of the most active region on the planet. Let's just hope that these tsunami waves do not cause a lot of damage and that we don't see any more quakes, but it's a good possibility we'll see some swarming in this region. And when these quakes start getting this big, they affect plate boundaries in other areas, and we can see this one already has plenty of activity on it here right next to it. So another look here at the earthquake map, here global. And sometimes it'll register as 2. It's got a 7.4, 7.5 earthquake 21 minutes ago in this area. As I said before, Fiji, Tonga, this whole region, very active all in all. But a heads up, I'll update via Twitter with more. Make sure to follow me there. I'll leave links below. Much love, y'all.
But wait, there's more. Another clip from Dabu77's YouTube channel. Third massive earthquake, huge M8.1 quake strikes between New Zealand and Fiji. Tsunami warning. As they say, the third time's the charm, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world.
This is Dabu7. I didn't think I'd be doing 3 earthquake updates today, back to back to back, but that is what has happened here with this monster 7.8 earthquake striking here northeast of the North Island of New Zealand. This is situated here between Fiji and the North Island. Right there. Now, go over here to the other map. Several places have this as an 8.0 earthquake. These are extremely shallow earthquakes as well. I have to say, Tonga, Kermadec Islands are known to be of the most active places on the planet when it comes to earthquakes. Just nothing like this that we're used to seeing. So we go back up here and you can see that today they're still reeling, having swarms from this quake. So there was an initial 7.3, there was a secondary 7.4, as you can see here 2 hours ago, and now a 7.8 to 8 magnitude earthquake. Tsunami warnings in effect. These quakes have been getting bigger, stronger. 7.3 to 7.4 to now a 7.8 on the small scale of this most recent one. This is something to pay attention to. It's not every day that we see a series of events like this. We've also witnessed...
So with the earthquakes, now let's get into some uproars of the people. Here's an article from TheGuardian.com titled, Dutch C-19 Test Center Hit by Suspected Bomb Attack. Windows damaged but no one hurt in explosion at drive-through test center in Boven-Karspel. Police have said they are working on the assumption that an explosion that damaged the Dutch C-19 test center early on Wednesday was a deliberate attack. No one was hurt in the 6:55 a.m. blast, which blew out half a dozen windows of the drive-through test center in Boven-Karspel, about 40 miles or 60 kilometers north of Amsterdam. Police have sealed off the area to investigate. Dutch media reported that a crude pipe bomb exploded outside the test center. Bystanders spoke of a very large bang. The center will be closed until later in the day while explosive experts examine the site. The explosives didn't get there by accident, obviously, a police spokesperson told the Algemeen Dagblad newspaper, but we will only know what the motive was once we have identified and detained a suspect. And real quick, I was contemplating on whether using this article or not, because I read up a little more on this explosion, and you have some accounts saying it's a pipe bomb and others saying it was fireworks, and it could very well be naturally occurring or a false flag. But besides this, in the Netherlands, you've had a lot of people just protesting the C-19 lockdowns and curfews, and have been doing other little incidences here and there, clearly showing that there's an uproar of the people all across the planet. And not just in the Netherlands have people been protesting the C-19 measures, but in other places in Europe as well. It would not be the first attack on a C-19 test center in the Netherlands. 3 people, including a 16-year-old, were arrested after an arson attack on a test center in the fishing village of Urk during 3 days of rioting triggered by the introduction of a nationwide curfew in January. That incident caused outrage in the Netherlands, with the Prime Minister, Mark Rutte, and the Health Minister, Hugo de Jong, among those condemning the fire. A week later, explosives were found at a test center in Hilversum. Windows have been smashed at test centers in Amsterdam, and last October, a couple vandalized and dabbed graffiti and slogans including C-19 is a hoax on a test center in the southern town of Breda, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. So that's it with this video. Just a quick prophecy update for you Akim out there, just to build up your spirits and let you know that with each passing day, we're getting closer and closer to the second coming of Yahawashi Hamashiach and our salvation from these heathen nations, chiefly that of the Edomites. And with this video, I hope you sincere Akim were edified. And as always, I'm going to say Abad Babal, Kwam Yasharala. And until next time, Shalom.